Hello everyone, welcome in. In this video, we're going to be discussing actions taken by students against Alexee on the NMSU campus. I will refrain from giving my opinion until the end. I'll simply provide you with the information, a couple definitions, and let you decide for yourself what you think about this, and then from there, I will give my opinion. Let's go over to the Reddit post and check out what has been said. Okay, so here is the post. When I go through the photos, just a quick warning, there is a photo of the trash can with some blood and stuff in it, so I'll warn you again before we go through that. Here is the post. So I'm a student at New Mexico State University, and there were these cards on our desk. The teacher came into class before it starting, since this class is right after lunch. The professor was very disgusted when they saw the cards and instructed all the students to throw them into the bin because they were, quote, bad and shouldn't be here, end quote. After that incident, the professor released an email to all the students. I covered the teacher's name to protect their identity. So again, warning, the next photo will be the back of the card. Here on the front of the card, it says Alexee Trevizo, New Mexico State University student. We want justice for baby Alex. The whole world is watching. We know who you are. Justice will be served. All right, and this next photo has a photo of the trash bin. This is the back of the card. There is a scan, a QR code there that takes you to a news article about Alexee, and this is a photo, I believe, of the trash bin after the items had been put back in after the baby was removed and found. All right, and then this is the very interesting part. This is, just to go up to the very top of it, this is the email. Important, regarding inappropriate cards found in classroom yesterday targeting a student. Hold on. Okay, so here it says, important, regarding inappropriate cards found in classroom yesterday targeting a student. Dear students, regarding any cards found in the classroom yesterday targeting an NMSU student, parentheses, not a member of our class, end parentheses, who has been in the news. I directed you to throw these items in the trash as this qualifies as a form of harassment called doxing. Regardless of your personal opinions regarding this tragic case, doxing a member of our community is not appropriate and will not be tolerated in our building, as it is a safe space for all students. Please discard these items if you find them, and if you are involved in distributing them, know that this will not be tolerated. Best, and like they said, they redacted the name for their privacy. Down in the comments, there was a lot of back and forth about whether this is harassment or a form of like protest or freedom of speech. So we can examine that for a second, because I'm not sure where you will land on that scale. New Mexico State University is a public institution. Public colleges are held to the standards of the Constitution, right? They have been long told that they have to uphold the tenets of freedom of speech, First Amendment, and things like that. From there, just knowing that they do have to at least support free speech, we can decide if this is harassment or free speech or protest. Harassment covers a wide range of behaviors of offensive nature. It is commonly understood as behavior that demeans, humiliates, and intimidates a person, and it is characteristically identified by its unlikelihood in terms of social and moral reasonableness. In the legal sense, these are behaviors that appear to be disturbing, upsetting, or threatening. And then a protest, a statement or action expressing disapproval or objection to something, or I would say to someone as well, possibly. So with those definitions, it's up to the school to decide what they are going to categorize it as, and then it's also up to us to make our opinion as to if we think this is harassment or protesting. So with that being said, I will leave you to make that decision, and now we can move on to my opinion. My opinion is that these students have tried to make their concerns heard, and that the university is likely shielding themselves technically from a lawsuit should Alexee ever be found not guilty. In my opinion, it's an act of protest and free speech, not harassment by the very definitions. I believe New Mexico State University's response to the original petition, which I have here on screen, was very lackluster in regards to distancing themselves from Alexee's actions and condemning her actions while acknowledging that she has not been tried in court. Which brings me to my next point, and for this I must put a disclaimer and remind everyone that this channel comes from a legal perspective on issues, so please do not infer any political affiliations or beliefs beliefs in regards to my next slide or the point that I'll be making, rather understanding the legal aspects of the situation. So with that being said, many colleges have kicked students out, particularly males, for assault allegations that were made against them. And oftentimes it turns out that a large amount of those people who were kicked out do not ever get found guilty in a court of law. And sometimes the accuser even admits that the accusations were false. But by then it is far too late for the person's reputation or college career to be repaired, right? So many colleges have set the standards for their own kangaroo courts in which they decide the legitimacy of claims. And as you see on screen here, an awesome lawyer here on YouTube, Nate the Lawyer, is currently talking about one of the bigger cases going on right now, a wrongfully accused student who was kicked out by Yale. In my opinion, New Mexico State University has all the grounds to rescind Alexee's admittance should they want to. They either do not care or are afraid of backlash. To that I say, she admits on camera to a felony, at least one of them, tampering with evidence, the evidence being, according to an autopsy, a live baby. I'm in no way disparaging assault victims when I say they often have less proof of the crime committed against them, and yet the levity of the accusations alone are enough to remove a student from college. All political beliefs aside, I think we can say that the evidence available to the university in regards to Alexee's character, conduct, and criminality is pretty damning, and more than enough to ask for her to not be associated with other students paying good money for their degree. I think it was risky for the professor to make almost any move in that situation. They're being confronted with this now very openly. They probably should have been more careful with their words and remain neutral, but the email that's sent, it's pretty clear that at least this professor, though they called it a tragic incident, is not upset to be a professor at a college willing to admit people with the same conduct as Alexee. It's probably pretty easy to get an A in that person's class. That's just my opinion. Can't be that intellectually challenging. That's just my little bit of shade. I do try to present the facts to everyone, and the facts are they are a public university. They have to uphold freedom of speech. They have kind of tied their own hands in this situation by not addressing it sooner and before it became public. They've been warned as soon as they were mentioned in court filings by not only me but other people covering the case, real respected journalists and investigators who have been looking into this. They have also contacted them. Their statement, which I had over here, is, like I said, lackluster. They've been pressured for this for quite a long time. They had ample opportunity to remove her before anyone even knew. They've decided not to. I don't know if they've been threatened with a lawsuit or not. They're acting like they have, in my opinion. I don't know if they've been advised legally to not do anything, so I can't come down extremely hard on them. But from surrounding evidence and surrounding facts, it's pretty safe to say a lot of colleges aren't paying for kicking out a student who rightfully deserves it. They're only paying for kicking out students who don't. And she does admit to at least one felony on camera, body-worn camera, and it seems a little bit inconsistent with the pressures put on other college students to remain a valid and credible person in society, to uphold the name of the university. New Mexico State University's name is tarnished as far as I'm concerned. I would be embarrassed to have them on my letterhead, on my degree. That's all I'm saying. That's my opinion at the end. We will have to see where this goes from here, if there's any actions brought against the students who did this, if they are silenced even further, or if they are going to be allowed to protest in some way, shape, or form. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them down below, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible, because I really do love the conversation. If you're interested in following this case to trial, please subscribe, as I will be covering it all along the way with a legal bent. I will see you in the next video. It's your girl Friday. Okay, bye.